We love being able to go to the different high school, colleges, middle schools to live broadcast sporting events around the area. Georgia Alabama Sports Live appreciates all the fan support, but without a presenting sponsor like Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC in Opelika, none of this would be possible. So we want to say thank you so much. Go to glennsmith.com. That is right, glennsmith.com. See all the inventory and see why people always say, get ready to smile. Thanks, everyone, and thank you to Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC for being our presenting sponsor.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of the Calvary Coaches Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I am your host, Richard Holdridge. Throughout the school year, we will have Calvary coaches here on the show every Monday night at 7:30. And the first coach that we are going to have here on the show, in fact, he is bringing along one of his assistant coaches. It is the head football coach of the Calvary Christian Knights. It is Coach Emmanuel Brunson. We're hoping to get the volleyball coach, the softball coach, and then during the basketball season and baseball season, we hope to get Coach Gordon, Coach Norton, Coach Steve Smith, all these Calvary Christian head coaches to support their programs. Let's go ahead and bring them on. I've known this guy for over a decade. We were both in the Georgia Army National Guard together. It is Coach Emmanuel Brunson, going into your second year at Calvary Christian. How are you doing, Coach?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Thank you for having us on. Again, this is major, not just for football, but for all Calvary sports. So thank you for shining light on all Calvary sports.
Coach, 12 days away from your opener against Terrell County. It's your first year in the GIAA. But what are some of the preparation? When did you start getting the team in the pads? And are you going to have a scrimmage leading up to that game on August the 16th?
Yes, sir. So as far as preparing for that first game against Terrell County, which we're super excited about, we get a chance to play that game at home. We had literally played our first game on the road this past season. And to prepare, after losing that state championship game, and I shouldn't use that word losing, after learning from that state championship game, we got right to work. So we went to the weight room. Our goal was to get bigger, stronger, faster. We feel that we did that leading up through the summer. We had some great 7-on-7 events. We played in 7-versus-7 versus some great schools at University of Auburn, Georgia Tech, and recently a couple of weeks ago at FCA at Sly County, which we did pretty well in. And it prepared us for this scrimmage game we're going into next Thursday on the 8th versus Windsor Academy in the Bob Peck Kickoff Classic.
Well, I am excited. 12 days away, that home opener, taking on a Terrell County team from the GHSA Class 1, A Division 2. Terrell County is out of Dawson. They went 5-5 last year, and they're looking to try to prove that they're a public school. You're facing a tough opponent, but the opponents that you have coming up on your schedule, have you had an opportunity to scout them from last season? I know that you were focused on the GAPS play, but now that you're in the GIAA, what are some preparations leading up to these teams that you have to face in the GIAA?
Once we learned that we was going to the GIAA, the biggest concern with us was the trenches. Being in the GIAA and playing some of the schools like Stratford, Pacelli, Brookstone, Tatnall, we heard that they was pretty physical and pretty big in the trenches. So that was our goal, to go in, recruit, get some big guys in that can hold down the trenches and open up not just the run game but the passing game. And we got a chance to go in and pull up some game videos, some game against, Stratford and, Tatnall, against all those guys that we're going to be playing, and get a chance to watch them. So not just us, our players has been scouting them as well. So we're well prepared for what we're going to see in the season. And I think, again, building our trenches, I think that's what we did. And I think we're going to have some great success within the GIA.
Well, Coach, it is a team effort. You have an outstanding staff. In fact, we have one of your assistant coaches that is nice enough to join us here on the show. Let's go ahead and bring him on. He is your assistant coach, Coach Greg Woulard. Coach, welcome to the Calvary Coaches Show. And before we get into what your job responsibilities are, just give us a little bit of a background, how long you've been coaching, and what is your experience coaching before you coached at Calvary?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for having me on. My coaching experience spans back for about 13 years. I started off at the youth level. Been doing that for about 12 years. Love the game, have some college experience by way of the University of Akron, and I parlayed that into a position with Coach Brunson. I appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. And you are one of the offensive coaches. Just talk about the returning players that you're going to get back this year, like Luke Scoggins, who is a dynamic receiver / punt returner. It's looking like Nate Osborne going to be the starting quarterback. I know he was the backup to Luke Zivak last year. Is there a quarterback competition going in, or is Nate Osborne going to be QB1?
Nate Osborne is our guy. He is our guy. Bar none, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's cool under pressure. And he just was the offense, man. He's that guy that will drive the car for you. When you have those type of weapons like a Luke Scoggins, like a Nate Stokes, like a Josh Jackson, man, all you need is the conductor, man. And he is basically our point guard.
Okay, Coach, you lost a very versatile running back in DeAndre Hurd last year, but who is going to carry the workload this year in the backfield, or who are some of the running backs that are going to be getting those tough yards in the trenches that DeAndre was able to do last season?
Okay, well, this year we're going to take more of a committee approach. We have two talented young men. First off, I just spoke with Nate Stokes, man. He's come a long way. This is his second year in the position, man, and he has grown big time. Okay. So he's our lightning. And then we got Darnell Hamilton coming in as well. And he had a position change. And this kid does so much work with his body in all season. It's ridiculous, man. He went from 265 down to 240. And he's like a wrecking ball. So those guys will be vital for our offense this season, especially in between the tackles, man. And they're going to do a lot of things, not only in between the tackles, but also in the pass game.
Coach Brunson, why was the move to the GIAA necessary for Calvary?
I think, and for me, in my opinion, I think it was a great move, not just because of the competition, but it puts Calvary on a bigger stage when it comes to athletics. Give us a little tougher opponents, and it gives us a chance to showcase all of our sports and what we can do on a different stage.
All right, well, this question is for both of you, coaches. What is your relationship like with the athletic director, Coach Steve Smith? I'll start with you, Coach Woulard, and then I'll follow you with you, Coach Brunson.
Well, Coach Steve's great, man. I mean, for me, it's been a lot of mentorship. I've learned a lot under Coach Steve, man, in my short time there. He's helped me along the way with a lot of things, man, not just in the coaching aspect, but as well as mentorship and faith, man. And he's been there for us, man. And, I want to continue to learn up under him. But you know what I'm saying? I want to get to where he's at too, as far as those state championships with baseball. So, we got some things that we're actually shooting for as well as coaching staff, and Coach can attest to that as well, man. But Coach Steve has been great ever since I've got there, man. He's been a person that I can lean on, as well as Coach Brunson, man, as far as growth in the coaching profession and as well as in my faith. So.
All right, same question to you, Coach Brunson.
Oh man, I mean, Coach Smith, and I'll tell him he's the GOAT. Not just for what he does with the baseball program, but what he does with all Calvary sports and what he's done for me. He gave me the opportunity to be a varsity head coach when I'm pretty sure with my background, not being a high school head coach, many ADs wouldn't have done that. When he hired me, he told me that they was looking for a unicorn. I didn't expect to be that unicorn, but he said it was something about me that they just couldn't shy away from. So when he brought me on as the middle school head coach at the time, and then they came back and hired me as varsity head coach. And for that, man, I'm in debt to him. He trusted me with the program, and not just the football aspect of it, but what he's done for me as far as mentoring. I had a hard decision I had to make concerning my coaching staff, and I went to him for advice. And man, he gave me some of the best advice I can use, and it benefited me. So what he does as a coach with his baseball program and 6 straight state championships, man, what coach don't want to follow in those footsteps? That's our goal as a football program to put our guys in that position to have 6 rings, but not just the ring aspect, but what he's done to put guys in college. That's the biggest aspect. That's what we're trying to get as well. So what he's done for me as a coach to mentor me and giving me my first opportunity, man, I can't say enough about that guy.
Coach Brunson, one of the most unique things about being in the GIAA is not just the competitive nature that you talked about, but those special rivalries within Columbus. You played football at Jordan, so you know about how big high school football is in Columbus, not just the public schools, but the private schools. The battle for the Brucelli Jug, Brookstone Pacelli, has been the biggest rivalry in Columbus. You add Calvary to the mix. I think that this is going to be a 3-team rivalry that is going to be special between Calvary Pacelli, Calvary Brookstone, and I know that they are going to welcome you with open arms as right. Consider you as a rival, and I think this is very important for the community. You get to play Brookstone on the road, Max Strong Stadium. We expect a lot of Calvary fans to make that trip. And then you get to host Pacelli. We know that the visitor side is going to be packed with the Pacelli fans. How important is these rivalries with this community and for the fan bases as well?
Oh, man, it's super important. We get a chance to play 2 of the best teams in the GIA literally right in our backyard. You got Pacelli, who won the state championship in 2022, and then you got Brookstone, who literally just played for a state championship this past season. And now you throw us in the mix, who also played for a state championship. So you got 3 of the best teams, in my opinion, in the GIA, and literally 5 to 10 minutes apart from each other. And to be able to bring that rivalry, and keep them games at home is really big for our fans. I'm pretty sure every game that we play when it comes to Brookstone and Pacelli is going to be packed out, and it's going to be pretty amazing for our fans.
Coach Woulard, it seems like this team, they got a home stretch September the 13th and September the 20th, taking on Flint River Academy. Last year, Calvary went up to Flint River. They are a GIAA team in Class 1, and Flint River showed why they were the runners-up, and I think the home crowd and everything, and just they had like physicality that really just wore throughout the game. But what are you looking forward to that rematch with Flint River? Then you turn around the following week, and it's the rematch of the GAPS championship between Skipstone Academy. So you got a 2-week home stretch where you're looking at a rematch with teams that hoping to try to get a better outcome from last season. Not the way it turned out, but what are you looking forward to that week of facing those 2 opponents?
Well, first off, those teams are awesome teams, man. Those teams were special. Flint River, the type of season that they had last year, as well as Skipstone, man, the state champions, man. Hats off to those guys. But we're coming in motivated, man. I mean, we have to come into that game like it's a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Yes. Because we met those guys, and we were on the wrong end of the stick last year, and we want to be able to go in and put on a good performance, man, for our fans and for the city. And we want to be able to have it to where those kids, recreate a narrative about Calvary football.
There we go.
Well, I cannot wait. August the 16th, which, by the way, we will live stream that game on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I will be on the call. I'm looking forward to being up in that new press box. And there's just something about Calvary football. You have great fan support. The games that we did live stream on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, including 2 playoff games, the fan support was great, and your Calvary fans really are awesome, and they really support Calvary football. So I just wanted to ask you, how can somebody who is a Calvary alumni or somebody who loves Calvary Christian Athletics, how can they support the football team?
Oh man, I think if you're a Calvary alumni or you just want to support the Calvary football team, get in touch with our booster club. Mr. Chestnut is the president of our booster club. We have people in our football program that is also on the booster club, like Coach Robert Hurd. You can get in contact with him. Myself, you can get in contact with me. That is probably one of the ways to get on to show support for our Calvary football team.
I'm excited. 5 home games this year. Terrell County on August the 16th. You got Flint River on September the 13th. Skipstone on September the 20th. Pacelli on October the 4th. And then senior night is going to be on October the 18th against Strong Rock Christian. Coaches, good luck this upcoming season. We look forward to talking to you throughout the season on the Calvary Coaches Show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, man. Thank you.
All right. That is offensive coordinator Greg Woulard and head coach of the Calvary Christian Knights, Coach Emmanuel Brunson. We're going to go ahead and take a break. And there's more Calvary Coaches Show coming your way here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
You're watching right now the Georgia Alabama Sports Live Show that is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet and GMC. Get ready to smile.